Hello, welcome everybody. So we're just setting a few things up. Just let me know if the audio is all right. Just give me one moment. I think we just need to turn up the music a little bit. Right, that should be a little bit better. We should have audio without being in the way of everything else. I'm just going to turn it up a little bit more. And that should be running all right. The quality is a bit shaky. If you run it at 1080p, it should be all right. Yep, awesome. It looks like we're at a level that is acceptable on the audio. So, welcome back. We are obviously back out building the Type 54. We finished step 5 last stream, so if you're coming over from that, welcome. If you've missed a stream, don't worry. They are on the channel as a VOD. If you go into the lives tab, you can go back and watch it. We do have the microphone properly set up now. And we're now on to step 6. So, we're progressing now. Progressing quite well, and we're slowly, ever so slowly, actually starting to get a warship going. It's very exciting. If you remember from the last stream, we ended up having to putty this. I can actually still see some gaps, so I'm actually going to fill that in. But firstly, I'm just going to sand out some of these edges because it's a little bit rough, and we don't want any roughness because when we eventually come to paint it, all that roughness is going to be very, very visible. So we're just going to sand it off. Again, I didn't want to put too much putty on because I didn't want to end up having to sand all of this off. But it's definitely filled in some of the gaps quite nicely. Where's the scalpel? We're just going to gently slice a bit off with the scalpel. Oh, I'm knocking everything. There's not that much room. I'm using the little desk. We can actually move the little desk out a little bit. Like this. So talking about some future projects, let me know what ship you want me to build next. I mean, this is still going to take me, I would probably say, another 20 hours or so. It's going to take me a while. This is my first warship. I didn't expect this to be very quick, and it's definitely not going very fast at all. Yeah, I've seen some other creators have built this in like 30 minutes to an hour, and we're like 6 hours in already. So, if you've come here for a quick build, then I hate to disappoint you. But yeah, I enjoy having you guys along with me as I do my first ever build. Maybe some future builds will be, you know, time lapsed with some voice overlay. Maybe I'm not sure yet. I haven't really planned for another build anytime soon. We've got a massive build coming. Don't want to spoil it, but it is going to be legendary. Think scale 1 to 100 warship. Kind of legendary. Right, that's that gap filled in now. That's perfect. It's a very, very minor gap, but I didn't want it to be in the way. Right, we need to find the A sprue now. Just need to move my light. Oh, and it's here. And we need these two. So we're going to start off with a 5. This one here. Where are the nippers? They are here. Some of you will notice that last night the video finally went live for the unboxing of the Despy stuff that we have. So yeah, be sure to check that out. It's a fantastic toolkit. I'll add in a link if I can to actually buy it. I just need to sort that out. I don't know how many they have in stock is the only problem, and if you're watching this in the future, it's possible that they don't have this available anymore. So I don't want to, you know, put a product in on the description if you can no longer get it. I'm aware actually that there is another version of this kit that's slightly more advanced, double the price. I didn't know that existed at the time, and I'm not actually sure it's available in the UK where I live. And there's actually like huge plastic. I don't know if you can see that on the stream, but there's like a huge cut. So we're just going to try and I'll put my hands down a bit so that the quality doesn't go bad as it tries to focus. I'm using my phone camera to try and focus it. I don't know how well that's working. Yeah, I'll put my hand slightly further down. Alright, let's get the next one off. Yeah, I tried to use my Elgato camera that we use for our regular streams. I can't seem to get it stretched across this far over the desk. We are on like a slightly separate desk, and I don't have a second device yet to be able to stream on this side of the room. So I'm using something called Irian, but unfortunately my phone is not the best in terms of rear camera streaming quality. And I want you guys to have the overhead down view, because I feel like that's more conducive of seeing the model come together. But if you have any advice for me, please, by all means, let me know. Yeah, this is my first ever one. Yeah, understanding a bit more about how this stuff works would be you know, very appreciative. There's also a bit more plastic on the side here, so I'm just going to try and scrape that off. I could sand it. I'm just being a bit lazy, to be honest. I don't want to sand too much if I can help it. I'm actually going to have to sand this down a bit though. We're going to use a 1500 grit. I don't want to take too much off, I just want to smooth it down a bit. We did a majority of the work there with the scalpel. I'm pretty good with the scalpel, thankfully. So this is a 5. It should be this way up. I'm actually just going to sand off the back a little bit more. So I have a feeling this might interact with another bit later on. So does this go on the inside or the outside? It goes on the outside. It's a bit of a tight squeeze though. Okay. It is a tight squeeze, it is possible, I just need to use my tweezers. Keep forgetting that I have tweezers now. Yeah, and we'll use the thin cement just behind that and try and get it into place. Can use quite a bit here just to really fill in those cracks. That might help us prevent having to use putty. Now, obviously, the reason we had to use putty last stream is purely because I did not put it together very well, and so there were quite a few gaps because of it. We're going to try and avoid that on this side. Thing is, I can't quite get that all the way in. It's a really, really tight squeeze. I can get it mostly in, and then I just need to hold it in there, I think, for about a couple of minutes. It's very, very hot today in the UK. A bit of a heat wave, so it should dry pretty quickly, to be honest. But yeah, if you're just tuning in, welcome to the stream. I hope you're enjoying these warship builds. I certainly am. That's looking really good now. Yep, cool. I do actually just want to add a little bit more in the corner here. I didn't quite fill it in very well. And let's get the next one out as well. And this is part A4. What I love about these nippers is you can really go close to the plastic without, like on the sprue, without taking anything out of the actual part. Because they are single blade, they are really, really good. So if you are looking for a pair of good, you know, either for good nippers, either for gunpla or model building, I would actually recommend it. Again, I haven't used much else. So I used to use the Citadel ones way back in the day when I did Warhammer. And they were good, but I feel like these are better. It could just be a different type of plastic though. But yeah, if you are doing gunpla, maybe recommend it. Again, it's, yeah, I just looked up, you know, what are some of the best nippers out there to use for my first model build, and it was suggested using Display. And then as soon as I found out they had some Lunar New Year specials, yeah, I'm Lunar New Year, yeah, I'm all about that. And also my wife is Chinese, so it's fantastic to celebrate Lunar New Year every year. So as soon as I found out they had Lunar New Year specials, obviously I was buying that. And I'm glad I did, because this is a really, really good model kit. I think it's made modeling my first model a lot easier. No, I've taken off too much there. That's going to end up with a gap, I can tell you. Back onto the 1500 grit. I might actually have to take on a bit more of a grit. No, I've done it. It is a massive cut though, unfortunately. I don't know if you're going to be able to see that on the camera. No, I can't get it to focus. It focuses all like this stuff, but doesn't actually focus on the detail, which is quite annoying. Again, I could probably use a better camera at some point. I'm going to go in on this side. I might try and put some glue down first this time. Ideally, I'd use my Elgato camera, but I've been struggling to get it set up. To at least reach out to this side of the desk, so it's a separate desk. Oh, that's way better. That is fitting like a glove right there. We'll just glue in around the back just to secure it. Very nice. Nice healthy amount of glue in there actually. Secure that in with that. Where's my other one? So I keep hitting the desk. desk with my knee. I have to use these ones for now. Yeah, that's looking really good. Just give me one moment. So I've just had a thought. I've actually changed up my desk setup a little bit. So it may actually be possible to get this set up right. Let me just mute up the volume level. I'm really sorry, just give me one moment. I've managed to get the camera over, I now just can't actually hook it up to my thing. Tell you what, we're going to use the #1 trick. A bit of tape. It'd help if I removed the That's much better. That should be much better. Hopefully it won't try and auto correct either too much. Wow, we're actually bordering professional. Something like that. Yeah, my phone camera's not the best. I don't know why I didn't try this before. Right, let's get out B12 now. No, that's the A one. Yeah, just give me one moment. I've got to find this is a tricky one. I think this has to be just clean off, right? Cool, we'll take that off. Yeah, it's much more focused now. We'll try and clean up that one as well. And then that's not B12, is it? That's B13. Oopsie. It's fine. We do need B13. Trying to get this off without taking off the detail. Oh, it's gone flying. But it's okay. I've managed to catch it. Right, so we just need to get this detail back now. Again, for this one, I think we'll use the trusty old scalpel. Two at the top that are going to be quite difficult to get to. Unfortunately, there's like a sticky out thing. I don't know if I'm going to be able to get it onto the actual thing, but we'll give it a go. Yeah, no, I've done that quite well actually. Maybe taking a bit too much off though. If I pop that down here. Maybe I had to zoom in on the camera. Yeah, you can just see this little bit here. It's obviously going to be very blurry as I roll it. We now have camera controls, which is quite helpful. So we have this. And this has to go in like this way maybe, because we need to get E24. Now E24 is going to be one of the really little ones, so it's going to be on this sprue here, which is covered in tape. Half the desk is covered in tape. E24, where is it? E24 is this tiny little bit here. I mean, this is going to go absolutely flying, I can tell you now. Kind of twisted that one off. I wasn't going to risk it. Definitely needs a bit of sand, so I don't know if you guys are going to be able to see that on the camera. It zooms in on my hand quite nicely, but doesn't on the item. It's absolutely tiny. It's ludicrous. There should be a, what's this one? Yeah, 1000. That should be perfect for what I need. That is pretty much perfect. I am actually just going to go over it with a 3000 just to smooth it out a little bit further. I'm going to do both sides as well. Make that nice and smooth. Now, from my understanding of the picture, there's a tiny little nubbin on here that needs to go somewhere in here. Now, I don't know what this is for. I don't understand really what is going on here. Oh, it actually does just slide in. Okay, right, I know what to do that. I've just noticed that this needs a huge amount of sanding. One of the sides is very bad. Let's get the 1000 back out. And this will all be painted, so it's not going to be too noticeable if there is a little bit of warping in like the plastic itself. As long as I sand it out and down, it should be right. You right, sweetie? Yeah, go for it. The camera's only on the desk. This is the back though, so we don't need to overly smooth it out. But now we need to put this down here. need to pick up this tiny little bit and then ensure that we have this the right way. Like that. We're actually going to make sure it's the other way around. We're just going to gently place that in like that, maybe? Yeah, and then we'll just add a dab of this thin cement on both sides like that. And so I'm trying to pick it up. It's pretty much like hooked into it at this point, but that should be visible. Yeah. And this bit goes, you look at it from this way, there's a tiny little hole here, and this is supposed to fit in there. It should just fit into the hole, but I'm very aware that I maybe haven't glued this part in previous in the best way. So I don't think that the hole is actually big enough. So what we're going to do is we're actually going to use, I need to find the other tweezers. Here they are. And then we're just going to go in a little bit here and just make this hole a little bit wider. Like that. Not too big, so it like falls through, but big enough. It doesn't quite, it's now leaning forward, but that's easily rectified with a bit of glue and a bit of patience. So we're just going to slot some glue in the back there and around the base here. And what we're going to do is we're going to hold it like this, and we're just gently hold that there. My fingers are a bit shaky today. We'll hold it in like this, and I'm actually going to just apply another small dab of glue onto the join, just so that join kind of melts together. Just hold it like this for about 3 hours. No, obviously not that long. If you're just tuning in, welcome to the stream. It's great to have you along on this Sunday, very warm British afternoon. We have some fun bits to make soon, and that's going to be really good. I can feel it's almost dry, which is quite good. Yeah, that's gone in quite well. Yeah, I'm happy with that. I have actually noticed there's a few gaps down here, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to use the cement again and just hope that that kind of melts in, because I don't really want to have to putty all of this. If I'm puttying all of this, it's going to be very messy to try and clean up again, because this is such a like thin little gap. I know I've seen videos of people making like sprue cement, where they mix the sprues in and melt it all together and try and create like rather than a clear glue, like a sprue glue. I don't have that skill, to be honest with you. So I'm not going to attempt it today. Maybe in my next one, but certainly not in this build. Right, the next one is another B. This is D sprue, I think. Yeah, that's D sprue. What did I do with B sprue? Did I put it over here? I think I did. That's not, that's A. This is B sprue. Yeah. And then we need B13 for this one, which is up here. We probably won't get much to painting today. I've already got that one, I remember. Just because we have a lot to build. And effectively, when I get the grey paint out, I just want to paint all the bits that need to be painted grey to be painted grey. at the same time. I feel like that would be more efficient. And I have a feeling there's going to be a lot of main hull that needs to be done first. Or not the hull, sorry, the citadel. Ultimately, basically everything else at this point is going to be the same steely grey. Now, whether or not I can get like an airbrush before then and maybe airbrush it, we'll see. It's most likely going to, this model is most likely going to be brush painted. Yeah, we will see. I would not recommend doing it like this at home. Always push your knives away from you rather than towards your fingers. But again, don't do what I do, do what I say. Yeah, that looks good. And we'll just take a bit off here as well. So this is the Type 54 Trumpeter model. I bought it out in China. This is a Chinese Navy ship. The Type 54 is, well, it's the Type 54A FFG. I don't know too much about it other than what's on the box. But in the late 2005, it was revealed that an improved version of the Type 54 frigate, the Type 54 NATO codenamed the Jiangkai 2, was under construction at Hongpu shipyard. The 54A is based on the same hull as the 54, but has updated sensors and more capable weapons, regarded as one of the China's most modern frigate. Now, obviously, Type 55 has been released. Type 55, NATO named Renhai, is the second most powerful warship in the world, only following the USS Gerald R. Ford. Most importantly, though, the Type 54's medium-range HQ-16 VLS SAM system now provides area air defense from all engagement angles up to a range of 50 kilometers, a considerable upgrade from the limited engagement angle short-range SAM, so surface-to-air missile system of the Type 54. Further, the 4 AK-630 30mm AA guns of the Type 54 have also been replaced by 2 autonomous Type 730 CIWS, and which have improved reaction time for close-in anti-aircraft and anti-missile engagements. Like the Type 54, the 54A also incorporates many stealth features, sloped hull design, radar-absorbent material, and reduction of surface equipment and features. And personally, this is why I really like the Chinese destroyers, or at least the Chinese ships of recent. I find that the British ones, like the HMS Duncan, or the Dragon, they basically have pyramids on top of them, let's be honest. It just looks like a massive obelisk / pyramid. And that's cool and all, but it's not what I like. Yeah, I'm a huge fan of World War II warships. I personally feel that was a bit too difficult for my first ever warship build. Whereas I find that especially the Type 55 Renhai, is a very smooth, almost geometric shape, like squares and stuff, rather than a massive triangle on the top. It's obviously still a triangle. It has to be triangles, but it's a lot less obnoxious of a triangle, I would say, out of personal opinion. Yeah, each to their own. And yeah, same for the US Navy ships. But nothing will ever beat World War II warships for me. My current PC case is a 3D modeled, 3D printed by myself, HMS Illustrious 1942 edition aircraft carrier. It is arguably the... Oh no, I've lost it. No, I haven't. Don't worry, I found it. It is arguably one of the coolest things I have ever made. Unfortunately, it absolutely sucks for airflow and has blown up my graphics card, so that didn't go too well. The next model will be a Type 55 Renhai. That is the secret project. It's going to be huge. It's going to be fantastic. We are working closely with Alpha Hobby UK to get it at the proportions and at the size that we need. Just trying to get this one in. It's not as clean of a fit as the other one. There, that's good. And we'll put some cement into that. Cool. Just let that dry. We're gonna make, once again, make this slightly bigger hole. So what we're doing at the moment is focusing on the main citadel of the ship. This holds all of the commanders and all of the basically the day-to-day of what goes on in the ship is run from these areas. So very, very important part of the ship. So we need to ensure that we get it right. Now, obviously, these days I very much doubt that all of the important stuff is done up here. I mean, if you look at HMS Belfast, if you're ever in London, I sincerely recommend looking at it. It's one of the coolest ships I've ever seen. It's fantastic to explore. I think that the recommended time is about an hour and a half. Personally, it took me 3 hours. Both times I went. So much to see, so much to learn. It's fantastic. It's got a huge, huge history. And if you are in London, I'd sincerely recommend checking it out. It's fantastic. But yeah, a lot of the important stuff, although the island, the main citadel in the middle, was fantastic. It held lots of detail, had lots of information. That was when a lot of day-to-day stuff, the most important rooms, like the war rooms, like the radar rooms, were actually hidden in the middle of the ship somewhere. Which I find really, really cool. Obviously, it removes removes where should I target, the massive thing on the top, or maybe the slightly hidden interior, and hope for the best. But yeah, if you're just tuning in, welcome to the stream. So we've now done these two bits. We didn't have to hold that one in, actually. The hole was quite perfectly shaped. But we need to go to A11, and we'll get the 6th step nearly complete. Wow. It's been a long journey, but we are ever so surely getting there. Just to check. This is A, yep, this is A, and this is A11, which is the bit that we need. Cool. So once again, we'll go in really, really close. These are really, really good nippers. I'm so glad that I spent the money. Going quite close again. Yep, cool. Right, now let's look on here, because there were 3 pointy bits out here. Okay, they're supposed to be there. Right, okay. We've got a lot of overhanging plastic on the back. I'm not 100% sure if it's visible. But round here, yeah, oh, it's definitely visible. It's so, it's not smooth at all. So we're going to go in and just try and cut some of that out. It's not really something we want to see. We could go in the back and putty all these holes. It's not going to be visible. The only bit that's visible is going to be this. So this is, as far as I'm concerned, the most important bit. To ensure that we get a nice clean edge. So that's exactly what we're going to do. well. And this is slightly angled, so we're just going at it at a slight angle as well. We will, of course, sand that bit because we need it to be a really good fit. I'm just going to go in for a little bit here as well. But again, we'll sand it all out. I actually want to start with a... We could start off with 1,000 and see how that does, but I probably need to go for 600, I reckon. No, actually, 1,000's doing really, really good, actually. Really cutting it in nicely. We will obviously move up to a bigger grip. Just to make sure it's ultra smooth. We don't want any overhanging, like gritty bits, grimy bits. We want it to be nice and smooth. We want it to really fit in close and try and use as less putty as we can. Yeah, that's still a little bit rough. I might actually have to go to a higher, or sorry, lower grip for this. Sorry, I always get them mixed up. I know higher is softer. Takes off less of the material, smooths it out. I'll go for I want to go for a 3600 for this one. Really just small circles, really smooth that out. Oh, that's beautifully smooth, buttery smooth. I'm doing the same for this side here. Yeah, that's good. And then we'll just go around here. Beautifully smooth. That is really nice. And we're just going to check how this actually fits on top before we start gluing anything. See, as you can see, it is not a very clean fit at all. Lots of gaps. Does not fit in the slightest. You can see there's a massive gap on there where the plastic's not quite the right shape. Same for here. Oh wow, this is really bad fit. We're definitely going to have to putty this one. Yeah, that's a really bad fit. Holy. It's fixable with a lot of putty. And we're just going to glue in first. And then I'll just go around and really putty it out. But we're going to have to do a lot of filling, unfortunately. A lot of filling. Back sitting in nicely first. We can put some paint on the back there to weight that in. I might actually have to hold this up, right? Like try and glue in some of the gaps. Might even be worth using the bigger cement for this one, but I'll try and finish it. I mean, it doesn't help. I probably haven't lined up the pre-part before this very well. Well, that is quite a bad gap. I'm willing to admit it's probably my fault. I probably haven't done a very good job there. You can see on this side it's not too bad, but then on the other side you can see there's quite a big noticeable seam line. It's very likely to be that I haven't pushed this in enough. In fact, actually, if I do try and manhandle it, I can actually get it in quite a bit closer. But then it pulls the other side out. I think we'll just put it out and have to sand it out. It's not that big of an issue. Put a nice paint pot on top. We'll actually grab another one. So I'll just keep that all weighted while we add in the putty. Got to be very careful not to accidentally fill in any of these holes as well. That would be pretty disastrous. Oh no, what did I do with the filling brush? Right, it's a bit further away than I thought it was. If you watched any of the previous streams, you'd know that this is more like Tipex. Great for fixing mistakes. It's about the same consistency as well, to be honest. We do have a lot of work to do underneath that as well. Take it nice and slowly, nice and chilled. Gonna have to actually add a bit more, but we'll come back to that in a minute. Let's do the front. Basically, we just need to go around, fill in all the gaps, smooth it all out, and to be honest, with a superstructure like this, even once it's all glued, like especially here, you're probably going to want to sand that down anyway, just to really smooth it out, because these kind of warships, they're designed to not be detected by radar, so they're already like really smooth in real life. So going in and just removing any additional hard edges that have accidentally just been put in just because of, it is a model and it's not a perfect, what do they do? Injection mold. There's always going to be slight gaps, especially when you're gluing parts together. If it was injection molded as one thing, then it wouldn't be very fun to build. So, they've got to add steps to build, and that obviously leads into some imperfections and some unsmoothness that you're probably going to want to go in and smooth out anyway. So it's fine. It's fine. But can you imagine if the Citadel was all injection molded as one thing? There'd be nothing to build. That's nicely filled in. We are just going to quickly clean that up a little bit better. Gonna have to get the other brush out for this one. Yep. It's not perfect, but once we sand it out, it should make it a little bit nicer to look at. We'll attach a little bit more here. It's a slight gap that we don't want. There's a massive gap under here that we need to fill in. Just wipe some of this stuff off. Just jam that in. ever so slight gap here that I want to fill. Don't think we're actually going to be able to fill this one. That might be a glue job. We'll fill in this one as well. Have to add a little bit more. Perfect. Well, maybe not perfect, but much better. I'm just going with this paintbrush and just clean up around some of the more prominent edges. That's looking considerably better. No more gaps. This stuff works really, really well. It's the Vallejo plastic putty, so if you do need a putty, I would recommend this. Like the little squeezy tube, like toothpaste, really, really works just to like really focus that in. I'm just gonna wipe off the dry bits on this. A bit of sandpaper. Probably not very good for your brushes, but this is the putty brush, so it doesn't matter. We do need to wait for that to dry, so while we're waiting for that to dry, we're going to build the next bits, which are all on the B sprue. Remembering where I've put that is a very good question, but I think it's this one here. Yeah, it is. Cool. So we need B2, B1, B2, B1. And then we also need B5, B15, B5, B15. Okay, so there's nothing to do on those ones in terms of that angle, so we'll do B15 and B5. And then we'll do the backs of these ones. Right, so this is B2. And B1. And then we will do B5. If you're just tuning in, welcome to the stream. It's fantastic to have you along on this Sunday afternoon. Yeah, afternoon, still in the afternoon. Very warm British summer afternoon, even though we are still in May. But yeah, it's fantastic to have you along. I think we'll end up sanding this one. I've gone way too deep again. I'm going to end up having to putty that. I can feel it now. Again, that is an absolutely massive cut. This scalpel is so sharp. It just shaves the plastic off. If you're not too careful like me. Alright, where's the... I think we need more than 1,000. I think we need maybe like 600, maybe harsher if we can find one. I have loads, I've just got to find them. They are everywhere. Ah, there's a 400. I think that might be a bit too harsh, but I don't know. Yeah, that's looking good, and we'll do the same on this side as well. Yeah, you can see where I've gone in a bit too cut here. Yeah, you can just about see it there. Unfortunately. mistakes have been made. Again, this is my first ever model kit, first ever warship. There are going to be mistakes, and we're here to learn. And the next one will be even better. Not sure what to do for the next one yet. We'll probably stick with modern warships for like my first couple. I think World War II warships are very, very complicated, especially with the rigging and the little guns. The dream would be to do a Yamato at some point, the massive 1 to 350 Yamato. Every ship we're going to do is going to be a 1 to 350, because that way everything in the room is all at the same scale, and that's important to me. That's the 400, and we're going to go up to 1,000 now. We should probably do like a British or American warship next. Quite like to do a British one, obviously being British. But I've got to pick one that I like the look of. An aircraft carrier would be quite a fun one to do next. I had the option while I was out in Germany to buy a Liaoning 1 to 350. That would have been cool. Still haven't lost a chance. I'll have to import it. But we can absolutely do that at some point. I'm really excited for that one. On to the 3600 now. Just to really smooth it down. But yeah, if there's any ships that you guys want to see, make sure you put them down in the comments or in the chat. It's certainly something that we can do. But we'll focus on this one for now. But obviously looking ahead, because we'll need to order one. But I reckon it's still going to take another month or two. I'm starting a new job next month, so the streams are going to be a little bit less rigid in terms of their schedule. But we'll still be streaming. Right. So how do we build this? B5, like that. B2, which is this one, like that. Oh, it's one of these. This is going to be virtually impossible to do. Clean it up a little bit. What we're going to do is we're going to build, we're just going to glue in here like this. We'll use the thin cement for this one. Move that out of the way. Get this the right way around. Ensure that this is well lined up. You might see my head for a minute, and I try and make sure this is perfectly lined up, and then we'll do it on this side as well. I know that this is going to need to be putty now, because there is no way that this isn't. I'm going to also do this side to try and keep it all square. There's no point gluing it at a slight angle. I would need to make sure it's square. Actually staying relatively well. I can already see gaps from my sanding, appalling sanding abilities. Just need to add some glue on the inside here. Add some glue down bottom scene, like, oh, I've just pushed that out, haven't I? Yeah. Oh no, it's all going wrong. I can't get this one lined up. Thing is, this is now stuck to the mat as well, which does not help at all in what we're trying to achieve here. In fact, I think more of it is stuck to the mat than not. In fact, I think it's actually stuck to the mat more than it's stuck to the base pad. This is not good. It would have actually probably been easier to glue it upright rather than upside down. In hindsight, I was following the instructions, so maybe don't always follow the instructions. It's not perfect at all. It's not even close. How do you get this perfect? I don't know. I'm trying to work out which parts of this are right. I don't understand this. Right, this goes in here, yeah. What's crazy, right, is that you're never ever gonna see this bit. Unless I've done something wrong here, which is very, very likely. But you're never going to see this bit. We'll add it in, because obviously it's important to get all the details. But maybe this bit doesn't need to be perfect. Because it's not going to be visible. So we can actually use the thick cement here and really just ensure that this is nicely in. That'll also help structurally make it a bit stronger. I don't understand the point of this step, to be honest. It's not visible at all from any side. It's not visible there. Certainly not visible from the back. It's completely inside. It adds to the structure, and I like it. I like the fact they've added this detail. I know what it is. This is the, as far as I'm aware, this is the helicopter bay. This will be where the helicopters are stored. I do believe this one carries a Z20 Harbin. Z20F Harbin, which I'm actually 3D printing at the moment, scale 1 to 100 for the PC build. So stay tuned for that one, because that's going to be fantastic. But yeah, if you're just tuning in, welcome to the stream. It's fantastic to have you along. We are obviously building warships and having lots and lots of fun. Now, the next bit is going to be a very fun, interesting, and scary process, because we are going to be building the missiles. Yeah, the little missile launchers. This is going to be difficult, I can tell you. So we move this out of the way. We don't need this for the time being. Some of you in the background may have noticed that the actual hull is taped off, ready to be painted. So very excited to start on that. But be patient. So we'll start off with step 8. I don't know if you can see it. Yeah, you can. Cool. We're going to get the E sprue out. I hate the E sprue because it's tiny. It's got all the small bits. And that is scary business. So we need E48, which is this bit here. It's actually both these bits. yeah, because there's going to be one for each side, isn't there? My bad. But there's going to be 4 of these, so... E48. Let's get E49 out, which is this one. We need E50, which is this one. Then we need E52. E52, this one right here. This is a really small bit, so we need to be super careful, and it immediately drops it. Thankfully I found it. And E51, which is a bit next to it. And then we need E21. We can do that bit after. Let's build this first part first. These obviously need sanding, but we are going to sand it after put it together, so we get a nice equal sand. If that makes sense. It does to me. Right, the hole should be at the bottom of like this. Right, so let's get the little one out. Double there, and then maybe a bit in the middle. Completely balls that out. There we are. No. Oh, what a mess. Completely messed that one up. We are just going to glue it along the bottom here. There's not that much detail on that. That's all going to have to be sanded anyway. This does not want to stick at all. Don't quite know how to do this. It's not, it's ever so slightly out now. Kind of using the tweezers just to like shape it out, really. Okay, it's not perfect. I'm gonna be completely honest with you. There's not much I think I can do about that. Very thin for a missile silo. Oh, I'm supposed to make... Yeah, it says make 2. I'm very silly Billy, I can tell you. Let's cut that off round 2 then. Hopefully the round 2 one will go together a bit better. Yeah, it's a quad. That's on me for not reading the instructions properly. We'll cut those bits up later. Right, let's try and get this one right this time. Perfect. We actually got this one done. One of them's going to look good, the other one's not going to look very good. But it's okay. We actually just want to make a small slight gap here. Don't want to it to be perfectly close because we need to fit the E50 on top. We can go back to the first one now, and hopefully that's glued enough that we can get the 400 grit, and we're going to sand that smooth at the bottom. We really want to focus on this back portion with all of the big lumps from the sprue. Yeah, that's really good actually. Cool, and we're also going to do the top. I'll try to use the tweezers to like grip it. Probably use the cheaper ones for this. Right, we've done the 400, let's move up to the 1000. Oh, that's 3000, I don't want 3000, 1000. Cool. Switch it back over and do the top. And we'll go over to the 3000 here and just smooth that ultimately smooth off. Yeah, that's practically perfect. We did actually need E50 on top, so we're going to go to this one. We're going to try and cut down these sprue bits. Really took our time with that bit. I'm going to try and use the tweezers here just to try and hold it up. Not what the way I wanted it to be, but oh, I'm being silly bitty. The thing I'm looking for is right next to me. Get a nice thin layer. Oh no, it's gone, it's gone, it's gone, it's gone flying. Repurpose that. So we've got to get this. Doesn't matter which way around this goes. It does. Clip that in. Perfect. Well, maybe not like star modeler, but I would reasonably argue to my ability that is pretty perfect, and I would take that. we know which side's going to be the... I don't know why there's tape all over this. We are going to get this off. Oh, that's why. Okay, it's got loads of like teeth on it. That will probably damage the plastic. It's very soft plastic. Yeah, I know which side's now going to be the gluing side. For the other one, it's going to be this side probably, because it's a little bit rough. Right. Now we can start the next one. So we start off with a 400.
Discovery Houston, press to ATO.
Nicely smoothed that out. We went from 400 to 1,000. To the 3,000. Then we go to the 400. We switch it upside down. Do the same again, very gently. Like so. Now we have actually missed a huge chunk of it at the front. My bad. Go back over the 3 again, like that. Just going to use the back of the scalpel here just to take off some extra material that we don't want. Yep, I'm happy with that. Alright, we can take this one off now. This one's going to be on the left side. Then we can take this one and we can put it as this. We're going to just gently widen this up a little bit. So. Oh no, I tell you what we haven't done. We haven't cut down this one yet. That went really, really well. Then we have the dot dot and dot dot. So this actually needs to go. Still not very happy with the addition here, so I'm just gonna get the scalpel out and see if we can just cut that off. Yeah, like that. I'm very happy with that. Very happy with that. And then we have to go with this dot 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 front like so. Gently pull this aside a little bit. This is supposed to clip in. It's a little bit too tight now, so open it up with the tweezers. We'll hook it back in. Add a bit more glue. Again, it's so hot in the UK at the moment. This is drying a bit too quickly, I think, for what we need right now. I actually can't get this in. My arms are starting to get tired. It's actually not clipping, and I don't understand why. But even when I'm massively opening it up, it's still not really like sliding in. We're just going to take a drink of water and a quick break. Stretch out the arms, they're getting a bit shaky. I'm wondering if there's a better way of doing this, but I can't think of one right now. I've done it. Unfortunately, I didn't add any glue in, so slight problem on that one. We should be able to add some glue into it though. If we work out, so this one's got to be glued on this side, and this one needs to go attached to this side. So that side's fine, and that side doesn't overly matter too much. These will eventually fit together like this. We could do that now, actually. I'm not actually opposed to that idea. That should go together quite nicely. See, I've got to make 2 of these and 2 of these, if that makes sense. There's quite a lot of these to make. So I've got to make 4 of these individual silos. I actually can't get this to glue. I was hoping that this would work the way I wanted it to. It does not look like that has been the case. Yeah, that's not fantastic. It has not glued very well. So we might have to come back to that. We're going to go to E52 now. Oh, there are hundreds of these. Absolutely hundreds.
Every 4 computers now have primary control of critical vehicle functions.
Hasn't glued together. That's okay. It gives me a way of knowing, if that makes sense, that it needs to be glued and where to glue it and which side to glue it on later. Right now I've got to get 2 E52s, so I haven't actually cut out the other one yet. There's 4 of these for 4 silos. This is a very time consuming process. Using these nippers just to get the additional bits off. Yeah, that's got to go in there somehow. Let's make sure that this is perfectly upright this time. Just going to add a bit of glue onto the bottom one here, like so. That went absolutely flying, but thankfully I saw it. Just got to trim down the other one as well. and then add some glue. Yeah, sorry if you see my head. Some of this is going off camera as well. So. So this is the kind of thing that like should fully be injection molded. Personally, like I can 3D print this as a whole part with similar quality of detail, maybe a little bit less. And I wouldn't have to sit here trying to do like some of the fiddliest parts I've ever possibly done. It's fun, don't get me wrong, and I'm enjoying doing it, but that could have been made a whole lot easier. And now we're going to do the other side as well. And these are E51s, I believe. Yeah. But yeah, something like this really does not need to be done like this. Like that's two incredibly flat parts that could have been printed or could have been injection molded as one bigger part. Especially as you have to do this 4 times. And I feel like with the availability now of 3D printers, it's a lot easier to get quality parts like this done in a printer, and then maybe models won't have to be injection molded, which would lead to a much better build quality. Still a great build, and Trumpeter have done a very good job, I think. But yeah, this is insanely fiddly. Like for my first build, this is tricky. Don't get me wrong, I love the challenge. I'm really enjoying doing it. I've got to make sure I do this to everyone, don't I? Right, the hatches are on the top. Oh, that has just flown away. Nope, it's somehow flown away and landed back on the desk. How that has happened, I don't know. I'm not going to complain. The gods are shining down on us today. So just very lightly trimming the top so it doesn't overhang too much. Right, that has actually gone in quite well. I'm quite impressed with that. It's not perfect by any stretch of imagination and will probably be puttied. In fact, that's actually not as good as I thought it was. I'm going to be honest with you, I didn't see it from the side that is actually going to be visible. I don't know if you can see it from there. From a distance it's fine, but there's quite a lot of gaps. Don't know if the water focus it, but there is quite a lot of gaps. We could probably fill them out a little bit with some poly cement. It's too small, I think, for putty. We can try it, I guess, a tiny little bit up at this top corner. As long as we don't remove any of the detail, I think it should be alright. I think that was maybe a little bit too much. Where has the other I don't know where the other brush has gone. It's gone away. Probably on a holiday. That's okay, don't worry. Found it. Oh, that has gone on perfectly, exactly how I needed it to. I can actually use this brush because it's pretty disgustingly hard to scrape away some of this excess bubbled blue while it's still a little bit wet. Beautiful. Oh, that has massively improved it. It actually looks good now. Now we've got to do the other side. So we needed, what was it, E52s. These ones are good. Can I just let you know there's slightly more than we would usually. Cool. Slice off the top again. Same for the next one. Like so. Pick that one off and put the next one on. E52s go on the front. I don't think it really matters too much, to be honest with you, but obviously you've got to try and ensure that it's vaguely correct. Would I have been able to do this anywhere close to as well as I have been able to without this Despy toolkit? Absolutely not. So absolutely worth it. So shout out to Despy there for a fantastic toolkit. Yeah, I mean, these are fantastic tools. These tweezers are fantastic. But the nippers, oh no. The nippers are what really set this apart. And the snake, you know, the Lunar New Year collab snake, fantastic, really cute, limited edition, loving it. I don't know if you can see it on the tweezers actually, but you can see it in the reflection. It's really cool. Yeah, I'm a bit of a sucker when it comes to like limited edition stuff and collabs, especially when they're done as well as this. Alright, we've got to do the E51s now for the back. Could I have probably gotten away with buying them individually? Yeah, probably. But in terms of price, the nippers, as far as I'm aware, are like 30-40 quid. The entire like Lunar Lim collab box set was, I think I paid like 60 quid, 60 GBP, which was really well priced. Bearing in mind you get 2 tweezers, the scalpel, a bunch of extra blades, another scalpel, a bunch of acrylic sanding blocks that I don't know how to use, a chamfer tool, don't even know what that is, haven't used it, haven't even got it out of the box, a coin, a ring. Like, it's such good value for money. You know, personally I think it's maybe underpriced, but fantastic, very happy. Yeah, I'm aware that I've only been using these for like 3 or 4 hours now. No, first maybe 8 hours. So like in terms of quality, it's hard to tell, but I haven't had any issues in that 8 hours. I know that's not very long. You know, but if I value things by how much does it, how long have I used it for, and how much did I pay for it, and then break that down on an hourly rate. And currently, there's 8 hours worth. We'll round up to a nice 10 just because I like easy numbers. There's £6. Oh no, I've dropped it. No, I found it. We'll go £6 per hour. But how many parts have I used out of this? 4. I've dropped it again. I'm very droppy today. This one has dropped further, and I don't know where it has gone. Oh, I found it. Yeah, if we go £6 an hour, 4 items, that's £1.50 each per item. Are these good value for £1.50 each per the hours I've currently used so far? Absolutely, considering I was getting really cool coin. But we do actually have a little bit of work to do on this front. Again, we're going to try and use the glue, and if we can't, we'll filler it with the putty. I think we might actually have to fill that. That is quite a big gap. We can put some of this on the back there. While we wait for that to dry and before we putty it, we can actually now do the stand, which will be E21, E21, E22, E20, E19. So E20. E19. E21 and E22. Now, are these supposed to have a little knob on the end? They are. Okay, so we've got to be very careful not to accidentally cut that off. Perfect. So, this is supposed to be smooth on the top, so we're just going to use the scalpel for this one. Yeah, cool. Next one. These look like, this one looks like a Japanese touring game. Yep, looking good. Cool. If you're just tuning in, welcome to the stream. It's great to have you along. If you're watching this on demand, welcome also. Right, which one was E21? Oh no. I think it was this one. Yeah, it's got tiny little holes that are absolutely not going to accept this at all. But we'll do our best, obviously. Little double there, little double there. Pick this one up like so. Well, this has somehow got to fit into this. I don't think that's going to work. I tell you what, he's only gonna done it. See if I can zoom in for you. This is very, very finicky part. It's not the best quality when we're zooming in this much, but this is actually pretty square. I'm very happy with that. this one doesn't want to play ball. I've managed to get it straight. No, it's fallen. London Bridge is falling down. Yeah, we're gonna have to re-glue it. The glue's dried too quickly. It's so hot in the UK at the moment. My room is no better, especially with these spotlights on. It's in. Oh wow, he's only one done it again. Wow. We'll quickly wait for that to dry, and then we should be able to put it onto the other side. And then we get the missile silo wrapped up on top. This should be dry now, so we can actually add a little bit of that putty onto the top. Oh no, I've taken it all off. Oops. Again, a bit too much putty. Corner bit as well. Like so. It may be a bit too much, but it's quite hard to control how much we're putting in. Perfect. Right, this bit should be drying out again. It's so hot. This stuff should be drying almost instantly. Perfectorino. Look at that. Oh no, not quite. This one isn't lined up properly. This might actually be quite difficult to line up perfectly, to be honest. It's right on one side now, but the other side's a bit far off. Very jumpy as well. I can't quite get it to leave the right side properly. That will be all right though. It's not fantastic. It's not perfect. I don't understand why we're not building the stand on the actual ship. I think that would go in a lot better. I don't know where this actually goes across the ship, to be honest. I'm sure about whatever. Goes right in the middle here. Yeah, it would have probably gone in a bit better if we had built it in here. As you can see, it doesn't quite if you can see the back of my head. We've actually managed to put it in properly onto the ship, and it's actually looking a bit better. The top bit has split a little bit, but we can just hold that together. That's not an issue. The issue I was worried about has now been fixed. So that is pretty much bang on 90 degrees set square. And that's exactly what we wanted. Now we have the joys of trying to glue this one back together. We're going to use the big chunky glue for this one. Maybe a bit too much glue there, I'm not going to lie. That is actually looking pretty good. We'll just move it up a bit more. Should be able to see that a bit better. We're just going to wait for that to dry, and then we can place that on top, and then we've got our first missile silo done. Now, if I remember reading the description correctly, this would be a... I mean, it's going to be a short-range SAM. I don't actually know which guns these are, because these aren't the CIWS from what I'm aware of. I thought the CIWS were a little bit different. It is quite possible that it is though, and I will just have a quick look, so I don't want to be wrong on this. Yeah, it's not a CIWS, because that's a machine gun. That's what's coming up next. I don't know what I would say that these are SAMs. There's only 8 of them, technically. It's not the VLS system anyway, because vertical launch will be on the front. We haven't sorted that one out yet. That's coming next. Let me have a look. Yeah, so you've got the 32 cell VLS. These will be on the front. We haven't got to that point yet. Actually, no, that's a lie. We have done one of them. If you see on the front here, this is the VLS, the 32 cell. So that's the primary weapon system of the Type 54. Oh, right, so these are the anti-ship missiles. These are the YJ-83J or C-803 heavy anti-ship cruise missiles. Okay, that makes more sense. I'm also just going to quickly look these up. Yeah, these are quite cool missiles, to be honest. But yeah, they're fired from the 4 left and the 4 right missile silos. Yeah, they're really cool. They're anti-ship missiles. So the point of them is to basically... It's a versatile anti-ship cruise missile developed by the People's Liberation Army Navy. It operates as a sea skimmer, travels at subsonic speeds or Mach 0.9 during the cruise phase before accelerating to supersonic speeds around Mach 1.5 in the terminal phase. It carries about 165 to 190 kilo high explosive semi-armored piercing round. and uses the inertial navigation system INS combined with active radar terminal homing. It's highly versatile. It can be deployed from surface warships like the frigate or the destroyer. It can be deployed from a submarine, and it can also be deployed from aircraft designated as the YJ-83K. It can also over-the-horizon target, which is really, really cool. Equipped with a data link that allows it to receive target updates and flights from airborne assets like a helicopter or a drone, so very versatile there. And it's pretty good at evading. It has a low cruising altitude of about 20 to 30 meters above the sea and drops to about 7 meters in the final stage. And supersonic terminal sprint makes it highly effective for conventional naval defense systems to intercept. So a really, really powerful anti-ship missile system. That is really, really cool. We'll look at the painting guide, make sure this is just going to be grey with the rest of the ship, which it does look like that's going to be the case. So I'm probably not going to paint that now, I'll paint it with the rest of the ship. What we can do now is actually put the missile system itself onto the ship. And it's not to be facing forwards this way. We'll just use the soft glue for this one, the thin one. It's a pretty cool weapon system that we've just built. I don't actually know how this is supposed to go on, because it's at a slight angle. I can see why they wanted me to place it on before putting it on the ship, to be honest. I can see the method in their madness and can see the failures in my own. It's going to be very, very difficult to line up properly, especially when the back bit's blown out. That's why. Okay, I've just noticed what's wrong here. Oh, I clicked it in. Yeah, I've nailed it. I clicked it in. It wasn't clicked in all the way. I didn't realise it wasn't flat. My depth perception is really shocking sometimes. That's why I can't play games like Rocket League. Then we just put some sides in it down there. Perfect. We have one anti-ship missile equipped now. We are almost ready for combat. Obviously not quite, we don't have a full ship yet, but it is starting to shape out really, really well. We obviously have the main hull. It's not done, obviously, but we do have a 32 cell VLS. We have the front gun. We already have propellers, which assumes that we've built the engines and stuff, and now we have an anti-ship missile. So technically, we have a ship that could potentially, well, actually it doesn't have any radar, so probably not very effective. I mean, it's got a front gun, that would probably work, but everything else maybe not so much. I would probably glue it all together for now, and then paint it all after, I think would probably be the best way forward. We should have to be very careful with painting, because we do have some darker bits and some lighter bits that need to be adjusted quite well. But we're almost getting there. Like, that's step 8. We have to do it again. Then we've got step 9 and 10. We're not actually halfway. Are we halfway through the booklet? We are halfway through the booklet now. Then other than that, it's just going to be like little detail stuff. And then obviously all the painting. I mean, we've still got all the photo etched parts to do. That's going to be very tricky. We'll paint before we do the photo etched parts, I think. Then we've got the main bits to put on the top. That'll be fun. Really looking forward to that. All the radar systems. And then we can assemble it. Build the base. Put the last photo etched bits. And then we're going to be done. We've got the headies. But we're going to look at the painting. And let's see where we're at. So actually, by the looks of it, the photo etched parts aren't supposed to be gold. They're supposed to be the same colour as everything else. What I might do at some point is prime it in advance before we start gluing it all on. But we're probably going to leave it there today. It's very hot in the UK at the moment. Yeah, we've done a 2-hour stream. It's long enough. We've accomplished quite a lot, I think. We may have only gone like 1.5, two steps, but it's the progress in this is not measured by steps. It's about how far we've gotten. We've only attached like 4 bits, in fairness, but it does feel good. And one of those bits you can't actually even see is on the bottom. But it's okay. It's okay. We've managed to get the front all nicely done. We could probably sand that off, to be honest. I want to make sure it's fully dry before we do any like additional sanding. While it is hot, some of this is going to have moisture in it, and we really want that to dry out. But it's been fantastic having you all along. I hope you've all had a fantastic time, and I hope you enjoyed your bank holiday if you're in the UK.